Don't spare the wrath and spile a public servant. Rebel Jamaica. Hello again, my people. I am the skywalker who stays in the dark to reflect the light. Let some light shine on our problems in Jamaica so we can identify and weed them out. We have what it takes to be powerful in a short space of time. Between home and the diaspora, we must command the righteousness we desire in public office so that we shall finally enjoy the fruits of our labor. Every man and woman who work his or her butt off here and across the globe deserves to see that satisfaction. For even when you thought you were selfish, you working and empowering yourself was empowering the whole. This is the secret of national growth and power. When we unite around the positive accord, we shall immediately rule our servants as the vice of God. Individuals that claim to be God over us must come to hear the oceans roar, the thunder clap, and feel the hair raising appeal of lightning when the people speak with one voice. This will teach disrespectful servants to respect their employers, the people. We do not need violence. All we need is that one voice. Rebel. Rebel against tyranny. Forget about their colonial political parties and consider what is best for you. A government that was established by Britain to work for Britain will not work for you. How much times will I have to tell you this? Should I just keep repeating? Jamaica, your jubilee is one simple step away. It is called unity. Unite around a purpose. The purpose must be oneness. The purpose must be peace. And the purpose must be unity. As long as you come together, you need not know the secret of how the magic of perfection will appear. There are many wise ones among you, but you don't notice them, for they are nobles disguised as the peasants in a topsy-turvy environment. Be an example, Jamaica. Do not spare your wrath and spoil your political servants. Your children are being murdered in the streets, and hard-working mothers and fathers are rooted right back into poverty. They are rooted and extorted back into poverty. It does not have to be like that. I swear to you that it does not have to be like it. Find a way that all can discuss their country together without the jacket and tie tyrants controlling the conversation. When they control the conversation, you only listen to them, not to yourselves, and definitely not your brothers and sisters. You must be able to hear yourselves and each other's think and speak. Stop letting politicians fill your head and confuse you. People, don't forget to press like, subscribe for notification when we continue the conversation. We know that societal structures were made eons ago, and they worked well to create great civil societies, even as golden ages. Up to the 1900s, Mali in Africa was a model society guided by masterful leaders. No other country in the world was so civilized, powerful, and yet as kind and humane toward outsiders as Mali. No other country had that faculty for war or for science. Mali offered education to students both from the West and the East, and the fact that they performed brain surgery in those remote years spoke wonders for the class of their society. But on the other end, no other power in the world would fill the number of troops, each with rifles. The Africans had the greatest society, but where is it today? It was lost because the mindset of nobility was lost. As soon as some African leaders began to redeem the signature of nobility, Rwanda, Botswana, and these wonderful civil societies are re-emerging in Africa. But who will lead in Jamaica? Who will lead in a land that the black nations will ever turn their eyes towards? Who will lead in a land with some of the thickest blood masses of the charisma of ancient Caucasus priests and the Egyptian pharaohs? And where are their prodigies of posterity? None existing in the Jamaican government. If they were here, we would know them by their very aura, the way the world knew Bob Marley and Tupac by the very presence around them, even before they spoke majestical words. They are here, but they are hidden. They are hidden among the masses. In Jamaica, politics is exactly what it sounds like. Pali means many, and ticks are blood-sucking creatures. But the people spare their wrath and hope for better. Spare the wrath and spoil a politician. You need to rein in and command your servants, people. There was a time when the god masters of society were wise and benevolent beings. Today, with greed and avarice and malcultivating of mindsets, we find that the peasant rules the office and the compromised office seeks rulership over the kings and nobles. Everything has flipped. Day has turned to the dark night of the soul. Pain and suffering substitute cheers of joy, and we have come to believe that this chaos is normal. We think it is normal because the mediocre mind in power, deliberately put there by the first usurper, is the modern norm. But how long will this last when it is unsustainable? The bearer of the burden has no more faculty to take pain. The bearer of these burdens are the majority of these societies, and particularly this study zeroes in on the Jamaican society. You want to come home one day to a beautiful land, but you are afraid of the very land in which you were born. You can't come to connect to your own navel string under the coconut tree, and the government would rather to extort you than to accommodate you. This is so sad. It does not have to be that way. You can change it. Don't spare the rat and spoil the peasant in power. Did the Bible not tell you, woe to the people when the slave becomes the master? All day, every day, it is the peasant, the slaves with mediocre mindsets that take the seat of power. It was always so because Britain wanted it that way, and they were educated to believe that a black child's hair grows like just like a white child's hair. And if that hair becomes unruly, then it was a shame. This is what the white British monarchy wants, the mindset of white supremacy engraved in the minds of your black children and hammered secure by the mediocrity of your mediocre black leaders. But some shaded out a little bit, so they will say that they are white a little bit, and that's another ant in the milk, I suppose. I am not here to insult them or anyone. I am here to speak the truth. I am sorry if they feel offended, but we are so desperate at this point that we cannot spare the truth for their feelings. For it is a matter of life and death to our people. They only see the glamour and glitter within their insulated spaces, and the cheers and guffaws in Parliament contrast the bewailing and screaming in the streets. The British Crown would love for you to think that the Taino Indian were not jet black, just like the white people in America want our brothers to believe that the Indians were not jet black. This they want as a pivotal are a pivot to claim the lands that belong to black people from day one. It is built on one tenet of land piracy. Another is genocide, which they sought to do to the Taino, but some survived. They told them to come to Spain for allotments of land for reparation, but they did in secret. However, the black Africans that were in the woods, some that came from vessels lost at sea and feared dead by West Africans, were here before Columbus' mother was knocked up. Most of these original blacks had blood from the tribes that now live in Ghana. Many of these tribes, and ones that were seafaring at the time, were from ancient lineages of nobility. You believe you all came from Africa after Columbus, and your mediocre leaders hammer the idea in, sell you out, but have no intelligence to figure out that it is what they do. We know that they are not the only ones in ignorance. Even the good intending Rastafari will make that mistake, for they believe in what the white man tells them. They say one thing, but when they face the of a white man, they do the opposite, believing them above their own intelligence, compromising for fear that was made as intrinsic in them. Mindset cultivation is a powerful sorcery that we must come to understand. So the British will now call the land that belonged to you, that black men transported Columbus to sea, crowned land. He will do it because he paused to see if you would correct his lies first. Then in your silence, he declares, silence is agreement here. We were here before Columbus, and some came here after Columbus. This is the truth. The Tainos were here with the Africans, at loggerheads with the Africans at times, but they were both here and they were both black. Have you ever seen a Jamaican Taino? I have seen an entire family, and they are shorter with woolly hair, but they are blacker than me. Whiting out Egypt, whiting out Johannesburg, whiting out the West Indian and Indian zones in America by the use of mass raping orgies will not change the fact of origins of the people. Whiting out Japan never changed the fact, and Japanese still have Ugandan names. So the Japanese origin is found in their very names. And you will not see a Japanese that try to deny it because it is already proven. Our mediocre governments do not know what pinnacles the white man used to create spiritual structures that are used to cultivate defeated mindsets in black populations. For this reason, they cannot protect us. In all the history of the originals of the world, no leader was chosen unless he was born one. Until these latter days, when a man was chosen because he was coached by the enemy. And for example, he was told that economics was rocket science and nothing could work outside of a rigid word in a book. Like, if you pay the population, as long as they are not the politicians and the privileged ones, inflation will immediately destroy a country. And it seems like God never offered humans the faculty to create higher truths than superficial or conditional ones. Don't spare the rat and spoil the politician. Tell the governor of the Bank of Jamaica to explain to you how privatizing the people's bank brings power and ownership to the people. It is not mathematically possible, but there is a worldwide conspiracy that calls for this wickedness, and your black leaders are bowed into it. Rebel. You need no violence, just one voice. You have God and your ancestors. You are not alone. When you destroy the culture of a people by giving them mediocre or compromised minds to lead, you destroy the coming generations too. Culture keeps the roots intact and you build on what you cultivated. So, a father is a fish vendor. The son on the back of this becomes a shop owner. The grandson on the back of this now owns a supermarket chain, and it goes on and on. Remove culture and remove their foundation. How is a black woman going to be authentic by trying to look like a white woman but claiming she is black? A black man reflexively uses the word empress or princess on seeing a natural black woman. It is an almost involuntary response, which means it is natal. He uses names like sexy when he sees a fake dressed black woman, because this is only based on the superficial. And when it is only based on the superficial, all that is there is just sex. But she believes it's because her fake is better than the natural of the empress. We need to remove the leaders or demand from them good consciences. They are letting our race die with the death of their history and the death of their culture. Rebel. You need no violence, just one voice. You can remove these niggers and the white monarch they worship and pray to at prayer breakfast, because this land belongs to you. You didn't hear me. I said, you can remove these niggers and the white monarch they worship and pray to at prayer breakfast, because this land belongs to you. You send your children to schools and churches that enforce the idea of inferiority in terms of God and culture, but you say those matters are trivial at this time, for the economics is more compelling. You cannot create economy for a people before they can be identified as who they are, fool. You must first build the mindset of a people in order to build their economic structure. An economy is built on the basis of who or what a people are. It is foolish to say that you will destroy the mind of a people, but it will be worth it financially in the end. What sense does it make to destroy a house in order to own it? Do you tell your loved one that you will defend him and make him so successful by killing him and then paying him a fortune? How could that be an option? You wash and clean the filthy fool. Tell him that SHIT spells sugar, and then you give him pen and paper to order sugar for sweetener, claiming you solved his problem of filthiness and charging him triple times your humongous salary for your good work. I said you cannot empower a people by offering them imbeciles to lead and not reining in your fools that are supposed to serve you. Rebel and do not spare the wrath that they deserve. Peace out.